the only way to really understand anyone or anything is to communicate. Now, since it's not possible to sit down and communicate with Marianne about this directly,
hi, Marianne Shania's sister.
The next best thing was to sit down with someone else who had experienced being a Marianne and playing that role in a family's life.
Hi, this is Anita. How are you?
I was so appreciative and respectful of the fact that Anita was willing and brave enough to sit down with me to talk about it. Well, thank you for coming and having this conversation with me, because I really do want to understand what is going through the mind of the traitor, what I call the traitor, which I think I'm going to try to deal with that term, but you have all this perspective.
I can speak from experience, right?
Yes,
yeah.
And I value that.
Right. My desire to help is much greater than my desire to hide the past.
You're ready to talk about the fact that you have a lot of regrets.
Absolutely.
The friend that you betrayed was a good friend, a close friend,
right.
And you were friends with her husband as well.
Right.
And that's basically what happened to me too. Why would you or anyone have an affair with their friend's spouse?
I think at the time, I know at the time, that I was close as I thought I would ever get to a family. I was a single mom at the time. I was sleeping on their couch at one point. You know, he would always say, your daughter needs a role model. Your daughter needs, you know, a father, and let me be that role model for her. You know, I was in that whole family environment, and I wanted what she had. And I felt like I had somebody who I didn't have to worry about what other woman he was with.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying that being close to them is what made you vulnerable?
Yes. Everything was very predictable. I knew exactly what was going on. So there was no real threat there.
But weren't you worried that she was going to find out? Did that not scare you?
It did.
But
very
not
much
enough.
So.
Not enough. Okay, not enough. So the needs you had were stronger than your fears of her finding out.
Yes. I can say that I felt tremendous guilt. I was very torn when it came to my friend. And sometimes I just wasn't thinking.
Were you jealous of her?
Not of her.
Okay.
But of what she had.
Okay.
Very much so.
And did you see her as somebody that was being stupid? Like, if she can't see this, then it serves her right? Or what?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Part of the thought was, she's allowing me to stay on her couch. She's helping me out. She's allowing her husband to be there for me. So that was the part that was tearing my heart out.
Yeah, but because she trusted you.
Right.
She trusted you.
Yes.
So
yeah.
why didn't you have the strength then to do the right thing at the moment?
The fact of the matter is, my mentality at the time was to chew somebody's arm off if they had what I wanted. But I was agonizing over, how can I do this? Why don't I have the conscience I need to have?
You were questioning yourself at the time, during
Yes.
it, okay?
Yeah.
So you knew it wasn't right. You went ahead anyway.
Yes.
Because it fulfilled something that was more overwhelming than the pain that your conscience was nagging.
And remember, the other person is got what you want. So, you know, it's hard to think of, gosh, what are they going to feel? Okay. I mean, this is just honest.
She trusted you, and that is why that happened. But I could see why the other woman who's a friend would say, well, you know, she really doesn't deserve this marriage anyway. You know, they're not getting along. You could make a lot of excuses. Maybe we're in that state of mind, you do make excuses. Do you think maybe you did make excuses for yourself?
Absolutely. That was definitely part of it, yes.
But are there not stages along the way during, you know, betrayal where there are checkpoints, I guess you could say.
Not the person that's coming from that place.
So you couldn't see it. Is that what you're saying?
I could see it.
Right.
I really felt I didn't have the power
control
to, yes. And that's the part I think you don't understand. And you never will.
Maybe.
The desperation to belong somewhere.
Right.
To be grounded, to say this is home, was too strong. To get a woman to have a conscience when they're doing something like that, it is you know.
Yeah, but then you did have the power to do something right about it after. You did, and you took your power back.
Yes, I did stop it, and it did end, and she didn't know about it. It was,
Right,
you know,
your
because it was
conscience.
my conscience that got me into therapy, saying, something's wrong, I keep doing these things, I know they're not right, and I followed through a little bit. You know, what's the end going to look like? You know, who am I going to end up with? I'm going to end up with this guy who is willing to cheat and lie to his wife, and do I really want that?
Yes.
You know, there were times, Shania, honestly, in the past 18 years, that I have questioned bad things that have happened to me, and said, is this, you know, my consequence?
Oh, are you paying for what you did?
Absolutely.
Oh. I understand that. I can say that I understand that. Oh, you know, that was a powerful conversation with Anita, because I just became more understanding of the whole thing in general, and realizing that, you know what, we all do, you know, things we regret, and nobody's above that. Thank you again. It was you look at Anita and all the work that she's done to get to where she is. Not everybody is willing to do that work, so not everybody that hurts others is going to bother going through that. And you can't wait around for it. That was great!
Yeah, I mean, this was incredibly invaluable.
I really respect anyone like that. That is all you can ever ask for from somebody. You know, it's like, I accept that people make mistakes. Of course they make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. I recognize that. You know, what's more important is coming to terms with the mistake and making it right. And so I respect her for that. And then, of course, for myself, understanding and accepting that I may never get that from, you know, Marianne. And that's it. I gotta just carry on expecting that will never happen. This is the room. It felt adventurous to escape and refocus with my voice. It's about as bad as it can be.